Hi guys, we're here to discuss the prediction for our NBA Finals for this season 2020. First off, let's discuss the two teams who made it. The first one is the Los Angeles Lakers, so congratulations to Los Angeles Lakers. Congratulations to all Lakers fans out there. I know it's one of the biggest teams out there. The uh, one who has the most number of fans. Again, congratulations for making it to the finals yet again. So let's just talk about how they made it there. So in the first round, they defeated Portland Trail Blazers. We all know what happened there. They lost the first game, but right after that first loss, they won all remaining games, or all four games, to take Portland Trail Blazers out. The next round, they went up against Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets was playing small ball, of course, courtesy of James Harden and Russell Westbrook, two MVPs, former MVPs at that. But the Lakers were able to take care of that. Houston Rockets didn't really have a legit big who could stop Anthony Davis and the rebounding of Los Angeles Lakers, and so they took out the Houston Rockets the same way, 4 games to 1. And then just this recently, they took care of the comeback kids, Denver Nuggets. Props to Denver for making it that far. They also defeated Denver Nuggets 4 games to 1 when LeBron had this magnificent game during that Game 5 of Western Conference Finals. And so, Los Angeles Lakers made it to the NBA Finals as the first team to make it there, because it was just earlier when the Eastern Finals was able to determine when we were able to determine who's going to make it in the East. So for Boston Celtics and Miami Heat made it. Who would have thought that Miami Heat would have made it in the championship, right? I mean, nobody. I gotta admit, I was one of those who didn't even consider Miami Heat to be in the finals at this point. Um, Back then, of course. Let's discuss how they made it here. First round, they were up against Indiana Pacers. They dismantled Indiana Pacers. I know the Pacers had some injuries and all, but sweeping Indiana Pacers, that's just something huge. And when I saw the Heat swept Indiana, that's when I realized that, hey, you know what, Miami is something special. And I was talking to a friend, and he wasn't still believing Miami. When we were talking about Miami versus Milwaukee, he was even saying that it's a lopsided series, and that Milwaukee will dismantle Miami easily. And you all know what happened. Miami Heat took care of Milwaukee Bucks, the number one team overall, 4 games to 1. Um, and then just earlier, they took care of Boston Celtics, this time with 6 games, 4-2. As they ended the game 125-113. It was actually closer than it seems. It was just during the late fourth quarter when Miami Heat exploded and they ended the game with a 12-point lead. So for both teams, their record is the same, 12 wins and 3 losses. So before we move to our predictions, let's discuss the main factors that both teams have. So let's start with Los Angeles Lakers. And for the Lakers, their factors or their keys are obvious. Number one, it's LeBron James. LeBron James is LeBron James. I don't really have to explain myself. He is called the greatness or the king for a reason. So LeBron James is, of course, if not the biggest, one of the biggest factors in their success here in finals, if they want to win the championship. If LeBron could continue with his scoring, with his dominance in setting his teammates up, with his passing and his rebounding as well, then the Lakers have a huge advantage. Number two, we have Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is just a talent, you know. He's a 7 footer who can score, who can dribble, who can defend, who's quick. There were even games, and there were a lot of games, when Anthony Davis was the one who took over the points category for the Los Angeles Lakers, and LeBron was just actually setting him up or setting his teammates up. So Anthony Davis is going to be again. I said earlier, if not the biggest factor to LeBron, if it's going to be Anthony Davis. So they are the two biggest factors for Los Angeles Lakers. Again, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I'm not sure how well Anthony Davis is with regards to that injury that he had during Game 4 of their game against Nuggets. That could be a factor as well. If he is 100% okay, or if he's still a bit hurting. The other factors that I think would be huge for the Los Angeles Lakers would be their guards, Rajon Rondo and Caruso. They are off the bench most of the times, and they can actually contribute in terms of defense, in terms of scoring, and in terms of easy points. They convert turnovers into easy layups and easy dunks at times. So those can easily shift momentum. Sometimes the Lakers are actually behind, and they go inside the game, and they took away two possessions, converted them into layups and slam dunks, and all of a sudden the momentum is with the Lakers. So how well would they do? Rajon Rondo, would he be able to defend like the way he defended during the Denver series? We don't know. We'll see. And again, those are the two guards who, if they could contribute double digits and on the average, again, would be a huge thing for the Los Angeles Lakers. And of course, my favorite, the bigs, Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. If they can actually be converted into options, if they can actually contribute double digits in rebounds, because if they would do the rebounds, especially offensive rebounds, those are almost automatic 2 points. Sometimes even and ones. So hopefully the Lakers could find a way to turn those two monsters into options, scoring options. And if they'd be able to find a way out, then it'll be easier for Los Angeles Lakers to convert points. Lastly would be the free throws. Why am I saying free throws? The Los Angeles Lakers should figure this out, that they always get the calls from the referees. I'm not saying anything here, but what I'm trying to say is, if they could keep themselves aggressive, if they could keep on driving instead of pulling up with the threes, instead of doing perimeter jump shots, if they could dump it inside again with those two monsters, if they could drive it in, it's either they make it, or if they wouldn't, then highly likely they'd be getting the fouls from the referees, and they'd be taking the free throws. So those are the 5 factors for the Los Angeles Lakers. And for the Miami Heat, the 5 things are the 5 factors that I think would be very beneficial for them. Number 1, it's like for the Los Angeles Lakers, it's LeBron James. For Miami Heat, it's Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler doesn't pass as well as LeBron, but I call him the instigator, the starter. Whenever he leads the offense, whenever the ball starts from him, you can see the flow of the offense is just too smooth. You can see the shooters who are very confident going to their positions. Bam Adebayo giving him screens. It's just different. And of course, we all know what Jimmy Butler can do in terms of scoring and in terms of defense. Jimmy Butler is going to be huge. If Jimmy Butler can do 20 points, 8 rebounds, maybe contribute 5 assists, it'll be a check for him. So let's watch out how Jimmy Butler could lead this team. Number two, Bam Adebayo. So it's almost the same with the other one. We've got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. For Miami Heat, we have Jimmy Butler and we have Bam Adebayo. I know a lot of you are saying that, hey, you know what? Those are just simple mismatch, you know. And I would have to agree with you. LeBron James and Anthony Davis, no disrespect to Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, they're LeBron and AD. They're just higher tier level of players as compared to Bam and Jimmy Butler. But forget about the tiers, forget about the draft picks, forget about the numbers. We're talking about the outcome here. Bam Adebayo, he's a huge rim protector. He converts points. He just had, I don't know, he had a career high, I guess, earlier. He passes a lot. He has a lot of assists. He is even a point center. Again, the outcome that Bam Adebayo brings to the court and the help that he could provide towards his teammates, towards his entire team, is just huge. It is like almost as beneficial as what Anthony Davis can do. So but let's watch that out. If Bam Adebayo could continue, then Miami Heat would have a huge check on their card. The third one would be, and I guess this one is going to be huge, the three-point shooting. Three-point shooting, Miami Heat has a lot of crazy three-point shooters. We all know the top two shooters that they have. That's obvious. We have Tyler Hero, we have Duncan Robinson. But not only that, let's not forget about Crowder. Let's not forget about Olenek, who even shoots 3 points. Let's not forget about Iguodala, who actually had, I don't know, 2 or 3 3-point shots earlier. They even have none. They even have Solomon Hill. They have a lot of people off the bench who could shoot 3 points. And a team who shoots well in 3 points is just a team who's gonna be hard to beat. So if they could keep their 3-point shooting in the 40%, 45% mark, they're gonna be dangerous, man, for sure. And watch out for Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. I'm not expecting Tyler Hero to have another 37-point game, but I expect Tyler Hero to continue with his hot shooting, as well as Duncan Robinson. The fourth key for Miami Heat for me would be their bench. I think I mentioned this earlier. They have a lot of people that they can actually pull, at any time, and they would be prepared. But this time, this is more into the matchup, for defense purposes. Who's going to guard LeBron? I'm not really sure if they would let Jimmy Butler or if they would let Crowder take care of LeBron. But they also have Iguodala. Iguodala, we all know what he could do in terms of defense. So they can actually pull Iguodala in towards the game. And nobody can stop LeBron, but if there's someone who can manage LeBron, perhaps Iguodala, if not the best person to do it, is one of the best to do the job. So we have Iguodala there. For Anthony Davis, it's not just Bam Adebayo who could actually stop him or who could actually defend him. Again, we have that giant Justin Bieber that I always call the one, I forgot the name, the white guy from Portland Trail Blazers. We have Kyle Olenek. So they have a lot of people who they could pull and who they could ask to guard Anthony Davis. Again, they're not going to be able to stop Anthony Davis, but they could at least manage or minimize the damage that these players could bring. And then lastly, I would have to say coaching. So what about coaching? Let's remember that Miami's coach is Eric Spoelstra. And Eric Spoelstra was LeBron's coach when he first became a champion. So that's I guess a huge card that Miami has, because it's not like he knows everything about LeBron, but he knows LeBron. They work together. Obviously, he knows how LeBron plays, how LeBron reacts into certain situations, LeBron's strengths, weaknesses, etc., etc. So it's gonna be a huge factor in terms of preparation. For sure, Spoelstra would be able to create some adjustments or some defensive lineups or some defensive call this preparations, which could at least, if not stop, minimize LeBron the King James. And no disrespect to Vogel, Coach Vogel of Lakers. I think Spoelstra is just way better than him in terms of coaching. Man, I'm not being biased down here. I know Spoelstra is a Filipino as well as I am, but Spoelstra is a champion, and here he is now in his NBA Finals. So let me go and proceed with my prediction. So who's gonna win? Now let me just say this: Lakers is supposed to win. In the papers, if you would take a look, Lakers is gonna win. And again, I would have to say nobody even expected Miami to be there in the NBA Finals. It should be Lakers all the way. There were even a lot of people who were telling me earlier that LeBron, along with his Lakers, would take care of Miami 4 games. So they would be sweeping Miami. I would have to agree that again, by the if we would take a look in the paper, and again, supposedly, and they should be winning the championship because they have LeBron, they have Anthony Davis, the two best players in the world right now. So they should be winning. They should have no reason at all to lose to Miami Heat or to any team in the East. And so they have to win. But here's my take and here's my humble opinion on it. Miami doesn't have pressure on them. The Lakers has. LeBron has. Perhaps it's LeBron's last chance of winning another championship. Who knows? It's gonna happen next year, right? Because KD may be back. Irving may be back. They would be together. It's an entirely different story next year. So this could be LeBron's last chance to get a ring, another ring. And so the pressure is in Lakers. They should be winning. And Miami is not, again, they're just having fun. It's so fun to watch them play. They're just smiling, they're just dancing around. And winning the Eastern Conference Finals is already something huge for them. And this is just going to be like a bonus. And so I would be giving that point towards Miami because that's going to be less pressure. Means they would be able to play tight. They would be the usual them in terms of playing. Another thing is that Miami has a deeper bench. I've been studying the numbers. Lakers have very limited points off the bench. Very limited points. It's just Caruso and Kuzma who contribute consistently off the bench. Well, sometimes Rondo does, but and then basically that's it. But Miami, for sure, Spoelstra would be able to create an adjustment, and again, Miami can actually use different people to also play some defense towards Lakers' starters. So I'm giving that point towards Miami as well. Plus the 3-point shooting of Miami Heat. If Miami can actually convert the game into a 3-point shooting game, I'm sure the Lakers would also try to beat them that way. I'm not sure if you guys would agree, but Lakers has this tendency that if the other team is actually shooting well in the 3 points category, they would also be shooting 3 points. Green does that. LeBron, instead of driving in, he takes a 3. And it's gonna go towards Miami's favor if they would do it that way. Again, they have Hero, they have Robinson, they have Iguodala, they have Crowder, they have a lot of 3-point shooting people, and Miami just moves the ball very well. So this is gonna be crazy. The prediction's gonna be crazy, and the prediction's gonna be um, again. This is I'm not sure if people would love me or would hate me for this, but again, Lakers is supposed to win as the numbers and as the papers dictate. But I really think that Miami will win the NBA Finals for this year and for this season. So again, I'm saying Miami will win it in 6 games, or maybe more realistically in 7 games. It's really hard, and it's just so exciting for me to watch the finals with my prediction that Miami would win. Of course, that's just a prediction, and I was actually contemplating earlier if I would lean towards Miami, or I would pick the safer team to win and the one who's supposed to win, which is obviously the Lakers. But there are just a lot of reasons for me to believe that Miami can do it. If there's one thing who could stop the Lakers right now, that would be Miami Heat, and they've proven that the way they perform this bubble. And so basically that's it. Let's see if Miami would be able to do that, or if LeBron would be able to display his dominance and his prowess. So it's gonna be Wednesday, the first game, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So we'll see the first game, and we'll see if the prediction will be right. This is the first time that I'm cheering for Miami Heat. If you guys know me well, you know I'm a huge New York Knicks fan, and I'm still a New York Knicks fan. At one point, New York and Miami were actually going at it. They were huge enemies, I would have to speak. But for this finals and for this bubble, I'm actually cheering for Miami Heat. So again, it's Miami Heat. That's the prediction for this year. Miami Heat in 6 or 7 games. And again, please like and please subscribe if possible. Please also share. Thank you for those who have been supporting. Thank you for those who have been sending me messages and putting some comments. Feel free to do that. And again, thank you. Pass I love. God bless. Thank you.